Wigan Warriors have been hit with a points deduction and a fine over a salary cap breach. Now, yesterday was poor and bad news for Wigan as they didn't get named as one of the stadiums to host World Cup matches in 2021, and today the salary cap breach comes out. Now, it is a very minor breach, and we're talking it's on a technical, administrative level. However, they failed to declare £14,700, primarily agent fees, player agent fees. And there were some also travel costs in there that should have been all declared under their salary cap. Now, the salary cap in 2017, when this offence took place, was £1.825 million for the season, and they failed to declare 14,700. So what they've been hit with is a £5,000 fine, and they've been docked 2 points. Now, the funny thing is, the Wigan chairman and the club, they're not contesting the fine. They're not contesting that they broke the rules. They are contesting the points deduction. I will say this to Wigan and Wigan fans. If a club signs up to the rules, which they signed up to, and they get caught breaching it, and then they admit the breach, you have to accept the punishment. They are appealing the points deduction, they're not appealing the fine. So it makes no sense. They're appealing part of the punishment, but not all of it, because they accept responsibility, then accept the punishment. It's plain and simple. This, however, does raise issues about the salary cap system we have in place in the Super League and the NRL, because the NRL has had multiple salary cap breaches that have been very public and very damaging for the sport's image. So what do? I've argued about a salary cap in other sports to keep costs down. In this case, we need to reform the system that is in place. It needs to be far more simple and far more transparent. Because at the moment, this undeclared payment, it's all lots of technical payments that, even for me, I find confusing. In layman's terms, I'm confused. I'm not surprised clubs occasionally make these errors of administrative error. There's a lot of confusing things in there. They need to simplify the system. If players have third-party sponsors and endorsements, that should be separate from the salary cap. I think players are paid a pittance when it comes to professional sport. If you look at how much the salary cap is currently this year, it sits at £2 million. Also, a club must reach the salary cap floor with a minimum, amount of salary. Rugby league players as pro sportsmen are paid a pittance. You have to look at their contemporaries in other sports to see how little per year a rugby league player is paid. So I think the system needs to separate player endorsements and player sponsorships away from their actual salary that the clubs pay them. So if they've got a sponsorship deal with Adidas, Puma, whatever, I don't know, an energy bar, a food firm, a betting firm, whatever the company may be that sponsors them as their personal sponsor, they endorse with adverts or have endorsements. That should be separate, straight up. Rugby league players aren't paid enough. Now, the issue with third-party payments is what we've seen in the NRL with the Melbourne Storm, Canterbury Bulldogs, Parramatta Eels, Manly Sea Eagles. There's double contracts and a lot of playing with the system. And we've seen 5 major and at least 60 minor breaches of the NRL salary cap since 1998. The Super League, I believe this is the first salary cap breach. Now, I could be wrong, but this is the first one that's made big headlines. And it's a minor one, and we're talking a smidge, just a little speck of dust over the salary cap, but it's 6 undeclared payments. And the issue is Wigan signed up to the salary cap agreement. All the clubs have to sign up to it. They regularly review it. They signed up to the rules. They broke the rules. And what is funny is they've admitted to breaking the salary cap rules that they signed up to. They've agreed to pay the £5,000 fine, but they're not willing to take the 2-point deduction. So it's an interesting one. Is the 2-point deduction a little bit on the harsh side? Other clubs will say we've obeyed the rules. They haven't. And yes, Wigan got no advantage from this salary cap breach because it was their worst season for a decade. Not going to lie, 2017 wasn't their best season. But other clubs will then raise the question, if we were in the position, what would we get? Would we get the fine and the points deduction? And would we contest? I think Wigan are one of the biggest clubs in rugby league. They are one of the most successful clubs, if not the most successful club in British rugby league. But there cannot be one rule for one team and another rule for the rest. They have to accept the points deduction as it currently stands. They are appealing, but I think they have to accept. Under the current ruling, they have to accept because they've signed up to the rules that they've breached. And the fact they've actually admitted breaching, it sort of damages their case for contesting the punishment that they've received. But there we go. That's my view on it. I feel sorry for the Wigan fans and I feel sorry for the Wigan players. I don't feel sorry for the club administrators. They fouled this up. It is a very minor breach, but they fouled it up. They didn't declare payments. And yes, it involves player agents, and that's another thing that needs reform. The system itself needs to be simplified and more transparent. The fact that it's taken 2 years for us, the fans, to know that this breach has taken place shows the amount of confusion and secrecy about it. It needs to be a fully transparent, fully open, and a very simplified system. At the moment, it's too complicated. And that's all I've got to say on it. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. There's some more breaking news stories happening in sports, so I've got to cover them. But I appreciate you guys getting to the end of the video. Please leave your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.